Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. You guys, we're here today to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. A lot of people like this episode, and I am trying to get excited to watch it again because I fell asleep on it. So, there's that. But I have watched a couple of reviews and people like it. So maybe I was just super tired. Maybe it had nothing to do with the fact that it was boring as shit. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But let's get into it, you guys. Oh, before we start, I must say if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you be part of the beautiful people family. If you are a regular subby, hey, and any of my new subbies, welcome and thank you so much for subscribing. It is totally free of charge, you guys. It is free to subscribe. Just hit the button and subscribe. Like the video, you guys, and let's talk about it. But in the meantime, let's get started with the episode. All right, you guys, we start off with a bunch of nothing with Kelly and her kids. I don't mean to call that nothing, y'all. I'm just kidding. But they're having dinner. They're, getting ready to have dinner. And her oldest daughter is telling her how she got a couple of low B's or low B's and everything else is high A's and she's like being hard on herself. And then she says that her dad is, really tripping. So you know how he is. So that's why she's hard on herself. So Kelly tells us that, the oldest has a different father, which we already know, but we did not know that he was still in her life from the way that she made it sound before, at least me. She made it sound like her new husband or the one that she just got the divorce from was like he was in her life since she was like 1 or 2 or what have you, and like that was her active father. But I mean, she didn't say that, so cool. He's in her life, and she said that they're like siblings now. Kelly and the dad are like family. They're like siblings. They co-parent well. Beautiful. I just really want this what is it, blonde hair out of her daughter's head. I want it out of her head so bad. But the only other thing I took away from this was like Kelly is loud as shit. She's tiny, but she's loud as shit. She's like, "You can still do it." I'm like, why is she yelling? They're literally right there at the dinner table. But all of her kids look like her in the face. So there's that. One of her kids says she want to be a chef, and again, not too much going on here. We move. All right, you guys. Next scene, we have Shamia meeting up with Ralph and his flathead. And she's saying in her confessional that there's nothing wrong with her meeting up with Ralph. She knows it looks strange. It looks strange. But no, there's nothing wrong with it because she did a podcast with him. Or I don't think they did it together, but she maybe was on there. I don't know. But anyway, he wants her to do some more stuff or whatever. So they're talking business. However, she said, the streets of Atlanta want to know what's going on. What's up with this whole situation with him and Drew. And, we find out that he's saying Drew cheated on him with Ty. And we did see her with Ty. What was it, last season or whatever? And I do believe that Drew cheated with Ty. But it's none of my business. But that was the reason why he filed for divorce. And I'm just like, dude, we know you've been cheating. It's fine. Y'all both probably been cheating on each other. But again, like, I don't care about Ralph and Drew. I really don't. But then he says, well, the whole thing with Portia and Dennis and him and her working with Dennis, and isn't she friends with Portia? And as soon as we say Portia's name, Portia appears. Yay! And it's so funny, you guys, because literally Portia comes. He acts like he didn't know that she was coming. Shamia says in the confessional that, hell yeah, I got somebody else here because I'm not about to look crazy just at dinner with Ralph. Like, what I look like. And I need to have somebody here with, that could be my witness for what was said. And I'm like, the camera's not doing that. It's okay. It's okay, Shamia. And you guys, like I said, I've watched a couple of reviews and people mad at Shamia. They mad at her. They think she is super, super messy. However, same people really like Angela. And I think Angela is super, super messy. Like, I don't see what they see. Everybody is loving Angela. And if you don't know, Angela is Charles Oakley's wife. and she's just messy as shit. But people were loving it. But you don't love it when Shamia's doing it. So I'm confused. I don't know. But anyway, let's get back to the dinner where I watch Rocks, you guys, and I say this all the time and I don't care. It's Rocks is my favorite reviewer, and she's so stupid. But she had a good point. They was playing the shit out of Ralph because they told Ralph, "Oh, you're buying," and he just laughed and was like, "Oh, okay." And then they proceeded to order every goddamn thing. And then, yeah, like she said, they used him for information. They don't give a shit about Ralph. They don't give a shit, even though Portia said some stuff like, "Oh, what you been doing?" And she came off a little flirty, where Shamia had to be like, "Oh, calm down, Portia, stop it." And she not interested in him for real. Like, they really just running up your bill. They're running up your tab, dude. So yeah, Ralph got played. They're both messy. But it's fine. Like, I don't care enough about Ralph to care enough about him being played. It's fine. Oh, I forgot to mention that Portia showed Ralph a text message that Dennis sent to her saying, "I told you I wouldn't fuck her and run me my money." And so she's saying in her confessional that she was showing him just to let him know that no, they didn't do anything. But one of the producers started laughing, and yeah, they told her she's full of shit. And yeah, she was full of shit. You were showing him this to show him that she attempted to, or at least that's the way it came off in the text message. She wanted to get with Dennis, and I'm like, really? Did she? Dennis? The same Dennis? Yeah, okay. All right, Dennis. Listen, Dennis is a nice enough guy. However, I don't know how he's pulling them. I'm sorry. I know he got money. He got money. I don't know that really matters in the long run. Like, when you really have to be, I don't know. But okay, Dennis is pulling them. However, she was trying to help Drew out, right? Portia? Okay. Y'all know what just hit me? Like, it just hit me. Like I said, I fell asleep on this. I did see this part, but I was kind of in and out. Like, I wasn't really into it last night. However, it just hit me as Portia is asking him questions just very nonchalantly, like, yeah, who filed? And like, she's doing exactly what Drew did to her. But she's doing more than what Drew did. She didn't want Dennis to film with Drew because she didn't want Dennis to use her platform to get his shit off about her. However, she's giving Ralph a platform. You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, you film with my man, I'm going to film with your man, ex-man, whatever you want to say for them. However, I'm going to give Ralph the ability to get his shit off, which is exactly what he's doing right now. All he cares about is his kids. And I filed because she had this situation with Ty, and Drew is not the person that you guys know. And, we had this whirlwind romance. However, the person that she is becoming and the way that she is acting, I do not like her. She's literally, and now when Dennis filmed with Drew, he didn't do that. He didn't talk about Portia in a bad way or anything, but she's giving him the leverage and the platform to get his shit off about Drew. Ah, very clever, Portia. Very clever. I don't know if I like it or not. I don't know that I care enough not to like it, but very clever. All right, before we leave the dinner, we get into a little back and forth with Shamia and Portia. And Shamia telling her, well, apparently, Angela has an issue with me because apparently what you eat, I shit or whatever. I think it might be backwards. I don't know. But basically, she's saying that, Angela was mad at me because I laughed at what you said. And then we get the flashback of Angela saying, well, I thought you would kind of check her, basically. As a married woman, I thought you would check your friend about saying she should fuck my man. And again, Portia was not okay with what she said. However, she didn't say I should fuck. She said it in a way of, and no, I don't know for sure, but it just makes sense. The girl Angela was talking about her husband, so I'm sure she was out there telling them she needs to leave it alone, and be glad that I don't fuck her man or whatever. Or she better be glad, or she needs to leave it alone before I fuck her man. But not that she wants to fuck her man or anything like that. It was shitty to say. I will admit I'm not excusing it. However, it's not the way she said it. She didn't say I want to or I should or I would. Like, no. But anyway, that aside, they get into it because Portia's like, no, she's saying that you need to be accountable for what you laughed at. And Shamia's like, hold up. So no, it just still sounds stupid because how can she make amends with you and you're the one that actually said it? However, she's mad at me and all I did was laugh at what you said. Like, it makes no sense. And they ended up, kind of being like, okay, it's whatever. And then they turned to Ralph and was like, oh, fool, we forgot you was here. But we're about to order some dessert on you. Thanks. All right, next up we have Kelly meeting Angela at one of her homes. Apparently, she has, what, 4 or 5 homes that she's flipping and trying to sell, and she still got them all. She hasn't sold one. She says she's like $3 million in debt. Kelly is looking at the places and she's trying to, get Kelly to buy one because Kelly wants to get out of her townhome. She said it's time for them to upgrade to something bigger and have a little more room because it's a lot of girls. She got like what, 3, 4 girls or whatever. She got twin girls. I don't know. But yeah, so they're meeting and Kelly's like, these walls, these ceilings are a little low and there's no water in the pool and the place is just not done. It's not done. She's leaving Post-its. Angela's leaving Post-its everywhere for her daughter to finish this up, finish that up. And then she wants to sell the place for what, 2, 3 million? Like, she's trying to get it all back in this one place. She's trying to sell it for 3 million, which is what she's in debt for with all 5 of these. And I'm just like, why are you trying to make it? Anyway, the producers asked Kelly, so is it worth $3 million? And she's like, yeah, good luck with that, basically. So they sit down and they talk, and what's her name? Angela ends up telling Kelly that she spoke with Shamia, and it looked like it was Shamia, Drew, and Angela. After they listened to the single, Shamia's single, they went out to dinner, and Shamia kind of confided in them that she feels like, Portia does things that kind of hurt her. Like, she was upset that Portia didn't make it to her wedding, and Kelly is like, why would she tell Angela that? Like, they're not cool enough for her to, like, why are you shitting on your best friend to this person that you barely know? And yeah, Shamia, I don't know about that one because the fact that Drew was there makes it even worse because it seems like maybe Drew was talking a little bit of shit about Portia, whether she was trying to keep it cute or not, she was still kind of talking shit about your girl, and you just kind of joined in on, her being kind of sort of a shitty person. I don't know. I don't like it, but Angela's like, yeah, they need to, have a conversation about this. And I'm like, how long has Shamia been married? Like, this is just the dynamic of their relationship. Leave it alone. Like, it's none of your business, Angela. She's very, very nosy and she's very petty. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's trying to come in between them. And Kelly even said in her confessional, Angela needs to stay out of it, mind her business. But no, that's not what's going to happen, as we're going to see later on. All right, so really quickly, let's just talk about the fact that we have a scene with Britt and her husband, and they talk about how her mom is coming. She likes to walk around butt ass. He likes to walk around butt ass. What are they going to do? The mom is coming. Okay, there's that. Then she talks about Angela and the fact that they thought that, she thought that they were becoming friends and they still got into it. She's like, she called me a whore. And he was like, why would she call you that? And I'm like, maybe because she's a whore. I don't know. Allegedly. But yeah, that scene was a bunch of nothing. Who cares? We have Portia pulling up to one of the rental properties that Angela has, or one of the properties. I don't know that it's a rental. Nobody's in it, but they're playing tennis. Her daughter's there. We find out that her daughter ended up marrying a woman. So she's not married to a man, but she's still in all, Angela says she was hurt. Then we find out that, she ends up, what's her name? Angela ends up letting Portia know that she talked to Shamia, and Shamia kind of feels like it's a lopsided friendship. She doesn't feel like you really wanted her. She couldn't say on the show and like break the fourth wall, so she was just saying she didn't feel like you wanted her to be around the girls and everything. And Portia said, no, I wrote down, my list of wives that would be, a great cast or whatever. And she was clearly on it. However, her husband, did not want her to film. So that had nothing to do with me. And then Angela, with her messy ass, was like, well, yeah, but still, the fact that I know, that means it's something lingering. And she says she's scared to say anything to you about it. And Portia's like, scared of what? Scared of me? And she's like, yeah. So then Portia starts crying. She covers herself with a fan. So we don't actually see her crying. But she's in the confessional saying that, she and Shamia, they've been friends for so many years, which they have. What they grew up together, middle school, maybe even younger than that. I'm not sure, but they've been friends for a lot of years, like real life friends. And she said that she figured anything that came along, they would kind of get into it together. But they're at a crossroads, and we move. All right, you guys. So this is where I fell asleep and did not know anything that's happening. So Drew is on the phone. Well, she's on FaceTime with her life coach, Ken, who used to be their life coach. However, I guess Ralph stopped using him. But we find out she's like, yeah, I talked to a friend and she let me know that Ralph reached out to Shamia and Portia and, they film together, whatever. And then we see that it's Angela. So Angela is telling her everything that Portia told her. So yeah, Angela is a messy bitch. She just really is. And then she's like, yeah, and there's this text message. Dennis says you tried to sleep with him. And Dr. Ken is like, oh no, you didn't try to sleep with him. And yeah, it's just the whole thing where she says she feels music is her safe space and now it's compromised and yada yada. We don't give a shit about Drew. Whatever. Okay, next up we have a Pampered by Portia event where she even invited Drew. So the girls are coming in their lingerie. I don't know why. Kelly and Britt actually looked ridiculous what they had on, especially Kelly with these angel wings. Like, she be doing a little bit too much. Look, I like Kelly just fine. However, it's a lot. She's a lot. But they come in and it doesn't matter because Portia wants them to wear what she has out for them to wear with all these feathers and everything. And she's saying that she has the best photographer in Atlanta there. She wants to be able to give these girls beautiful pictures to take home to their husbands. When in actuality, she's really just doing a campaign and using the shit out of them for their face and recognition without paying them. And they eventually catch on, but I guess nobody said anything because they just kept taking the pictures. So while they're at this event, they sit down and start eating a little something, a little snack it looked like. And um, what's her name? Kelly and Shamia are in this room, and Kelly's like, yeah, there was conversations going on about you. Angela told me that she spoke with Portia, and Portia was in tears about you, and the fact that you're talking behind her back. Like, I don't know, it was something about the way Kelly said it that just made it seem a little different than how it actually worked out. So then Shamia, of course, is upset. They end up going and they're doing this meditation thing with Lauren. And Lauren is telling them to lay back and get comfortable. Shamia is up talking to Kelly about how she's not comfortable. And then Portia sits up and she's like, yeah, and the person, she's probably not comfortable either. So, yeah, it's just stupid. This shit is just stupid. Like, for real, it's hard to review because it's just like a bunch of he said, she said, like high school shit. It's really hard to review this shit. All right, I'm going to wrap it up quickly because a lot happened, but it seemed very, very produced to me, you guys. I'm sorry. The fact that her sister Lauren and the other person in charge of meditation, they're telling them, let it out. If you guys have anything to say to the other person and just let it out. And I'm just like, it's so fucking produced. I hate that. Like, I honestly hate that. So then we get into the fact that Angela told all this stuff and Portia and Shamia start going back and forth about how Shamia always has her Portia's back, but it's not reciprocated. Lauren says, well, how does that make you feel, Portia? She says she feels like a piece of shit, like she's the bad friend and Shamia's the good friend. They go back and forth about, why Shamia in the confessional says she doesn't understand why Portia was so comfortable talking to this girl that she barely know. And I'm like, didn't it start off with you talking to Angela first? Because Angela's like, I would have never known that she missed your wedding. How would I know that if she didn't tell me that, stuff is bothering her? And then we get into why Portia missed the wedding. And she said, a month and a half before the wedding or whatever, we weren't even on speaking terms. And I was in her traditional wedding in the States. I just did not go to Kenya. And Shamia's like, that's not what you told me, was the reason. And that's not what she told us was the reason. We all saw it. It played out on the show. I can't remember what the reason was why Portia didn't make it, but it definitely wasn't because they had fallen out or whatever. So Shamia's like, I would have bought you a ticket to Kenya, and they basically got nowhere. Shamia says she's giving her grace, and she's like, thank you for the grace. And yeah, so they're just pretty snippy. And then, we get what they're gonna talk in the next episode, and it's not gonna go well. But that's kind of it, you guys. And I see why I fell asleep on it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't love it. Like everybody else was loving it. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, it was a good episode. Good episode." It was just a lot of bullshit to me and very overproduced, but that's fine. That's fine. I will see you guys in the next review. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you be part of the Beautiful People family, and like the video. It does wonders for my analytics. Nope, my algorithm. But yeah, if you are still here, you are definitely the real MVP. I appreciate you. Like the video, you guys. Subscribe. It is absolutely free of charge. And I will see you guys in the next video. Smooches.